right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the beautiful state of Michigan. We are live with the Diehard Racing League series here at Michigan International for a 100-lap race tonight. We are just under the 4-minute mark here in practice, and we will go straight into qualifying. As usual, I always come in here and I watch the guys throughout practice to see who's got the speed on the long run, the short run, who's going to be the one to contend for. And right now, it's no surprise that the number 75 of Robert Barris is fastest in practice. He's ran a 39.1 flat, but I think the shocker of tonight's practice is downtown James Brown sitting on second on the board right now as far as practice speeds go. We have the 97 of Cameron Hearn, who's holding down P3, and the 77 of Seth Schultz, who is fourth on the board. But then again, that is practice. We do have 10 minutes of qualifying. So we'll be going through that. And then, of course, as always, we will give you your gridding order. And as always, joining me in the booth is my trusty broadcasting companion, Alan Sean. How are you doing tonight?
You know, Art, I'm doing pretty good. It's going to be a good race here, I think, tonight. Wide track. These guys will be able to get 3 and 4 wide fairly easy. The car's really stable here. We see a couple of guys touching the wall there in practice, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, we do know that the wall is going to be a big factor, seeing how, especially on the long run, with these high speeds that these cars carry through the corners, I think depending on how you manage your car, on the long run, we're going to see a lot of drivers drifting up towards that wall. As the tires wear out, you do have to start backing your corners up further and further in order to keep the speed through the corner. But hopefully we will not see a repeat of what happened last week at Martinsville, where we had a almost record-breaking 12 caution race with our record being 13. So with this track being as wide as it is, you can easily fit 5-6 cars on here through the corners without incident. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there and hopefully not jinx that we've got a very low amount of cautions tonight, and we're going to see some amazing side-by-side racing here. You can see right there the 75, as well as, I believe that was the 22. He clipped the wall there coming out of turn 2, which is probably going to be a common thing we're going to start seeing later in the race, because it's a balance between how much wheel you're putting in versus how much speed you're willing to sacrifice coming out of the corner or maintaining it through it. We're going to see a lot of drivers who have different lines through the corners. We'll see a lot of them trying to run the low line out of there, which tends to usually upset the car. But these K&N cars, they tend to run a little bit tighter than the Xfinity cars, the Camping World trucks, and definitely the, well, now the Monster Energy Cup 10,000 XP, whatever series it is now. But either way, we're seeing 3 wide right here. So you'll see the middle groove. A lot of drivers prefer that. A lot of drivers like the high line through here. But you're no matter where you look on the track, you're going to see cars running multiple grooves as practice is starting to come to a close here. We have roughly 15 seconds left, and then we will advance into qualifying. It'll be interesting to see if the 75 can back up his time in practice in qualifying and lock down the pole. So that will do it now for practice. We will move over into qualifying. And it is open qualifying, so the draft is going to play a big factor here. So you can normally at any other track it's a 2-lap shootout, but we do have 10 minutes of open qual here, so it's not a 3-lap standard qualifier. So if you can get behind somebody who you know has the speed, right now the pole is anybody's game.
Yeah, definitely there are. It looks like, the draft will play a big factor throughout the evening tonight, as this is one of those tracks that is just long enough for the draft to really start to wreak a little bit of havoc with these cars. It'll allow them to pull up really quick onto a pack.
I think one of the prime examples of that is the B Open set that we put together that got, what was it, 5 wins between 3 drivers?
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of wish the official series was here at Michigan, because I would definitely be running that again, because I'd like to rip off back-to-back wins again. It'd be nice. It's been, I think, since Talladega when the K9 cars were there, since I got my last official series win, but that's completely besides the point. This is obviously hosted league racing, which is a lot more fun because you race with these guys week in, week out. You know them. It's not like joining any official race where you have to worry about the people in front of you. You pretty much know what the people are going to do here, as most of the drivers here have been here for at least 4, 5, 6 seasons. We do have some new drivers. We are not recruiting right now, but we will be at the end of the season. As we saw the number 23 there, he got the wall hard coming out of 2. Right now, the 77 of Seth Schultz is our pole sitter with a 38.942, with Todd Cray directly behind him, only 400ths off. Dalton Baldwin is going to be P3 right now, but then again, we still have 7.5 minutes of qualifying left, so I do expect to see these numbers change a little bit. I think another big issue to address too on this, especially since like Auto Club and Michigan, we're going to see a lot of use of that apron on the front stretch, seeing how it is legal to pass on the apron. I know every time I've run official races, usually the fastest line is to come up out of the corner high and then dive it down low, ride that apron, and then get right back out to the wall for a high entry in to maintain as much speed as possible. So we'll be seeing a lot of cars that'll be running that bottom groove as we see the 23 get the wall again, and he's going to blow it up and lock it up and hit the wall just shy of making it on the pit road. He's going to go back out and give her another go. Now, it is not mandatory to qualify, but if you do qualify, you have to grid, and you must grid no matter what. There is no starting from the pits.
Just a quick shout out to all of our YouTube viewers out there. We hope you enjoy the show.
So unfortunately, I cannot monitor that because I have all my controls set up, and they just so happen to be sitting right over the chat box. So of course, Alan has to do, like I said, or not last Friday, but during Friday night's coverage of the CRA race at Daytona 2007. Alan may not always talk the most, but he's doing a lot of things behind the scenes while I am providing the main commentary. He's the one who's looking through the pack, trying to find the battles for me to focus on. He's also monitoring the YouTube chat. He's doing about 15 different things all at once. So for him to step on his tongue and not talk a lot, that's not really a big deal because he contributes a lot to the stream that I don't give him credit for, which he needs to be recognized for it, but it does take a team to do this, so I think we've got the right combination going.
Well, thanks for that, Art, and we'll keep doing it as long as we can keep things going smoothly.
I know I like to give you a lot of crap, so I figured I'd make up for it there. So not much has changed. The front three are still exactly the same as they were before. So with only about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left here in qualifying, it's up to everybody else out on track to try and beat a 38.942. So you see the number 12 of Caleb Thompson, the 6 of Rodney Kramer, the 24 of Josue Tellez as they come out of turn 4.
Wow, it's a little surprising to see Seth up there with the pole time at the moment.
He's held it all session right now as we see the number 68 of Downtown James Brown. Behind him, the 20 of Carlos Plaza, rocking the old Terry Labonte Kellogg's Cornflakes paint scheme. And Rodney Kramer rocking the old Mark Martin Eagle 1 paint scheme. That's one that I have not seen run a lot. As a matter of fact, I've never run across that paint scheme in the official series. Well, there's definitely a sharp-looking Terry Labonte replica paint scheme there. Whoever did that one put some time into it. Behind him would be the 75 of Robert Bears, who normally we would see him on the pole, but right now he is sitting 4th. Kevin Straczynski has managed to make his way to 5th. See the 20 get a little piece of the wall right there. He's able to slow it down and bring it down pit road. We have just under 2 minutes to go here in qualifying. I'm pretty sure that we're not going to see the top 3 positions change much, if at all. You see the 24 and the 22 out on track. And the 14 behind him in the OxyClean Menards Chevrolet. See the 22 getting a huge run on the 24 there. Let's see how that pans out coming to the line here. Now the 14 and the 20 working together here drafting. So under a minute to go here. I'm pretty sure that we're going to lock our top 5 in. We come down to the last 10 seconds here. I'm going to try and see if these guys can get at least one last lap in as we see the 14 get a little bit of the wall there with the tail of the car, but doesn't look like it seemed to slow him down any. The checkered flag is out here. We will go into the gridding order here momentarily as soon as they start lining up on pit road. See if the 14 can squeak it across the line before time runs out, and he does. All right, now we are moving on to the grid. So tonight's starting order, your pole sitter will be the 77 of Seth Schultz with a 38.942. Starting to his outside will be the number 10 of Todd Cray. Third place will be the 41 of Dalton Baldwin. Robert Barris will roll off fourth. Kevin Straczynski starting fifth. Adam Nowimski. Kind of funny how their last names both end with a ski, but that's just a little irony that I pick up on. He'll be rolling off sixth. Seventh place is the number 6 of Rodney Kramer. Cameron Hearn in the 97 will roll off eighth. Corey Brown in that 23 machine is going to start ninth. Rounding out your top 10 is going to be Josue Tellis rocking the Jeff Gordon DuPont Chevrolet. 11th place we have Caleb Thompson. Brad Spada will roll off 12th. 13th goes to the 19 of Justin Page. Randy Arms will start 14th. Downtown James Brown will get 15th. Rusty Farrell will start 16th. 17th will be Carlos Plaza. 18th, Brandon Hartwell. Chris Ostrander will be 19th. Rounding out your top 20 will be Zach Michael. 21st, we have Steven Spears. 22nd, Douglas Hess. 23rd, Dan Lepore. Cody Franklin, 24th. And that will round out our field.
Yeah, and I just want to give a quick shout out to these guys over here at iBog. That's where we get the IRTVO overlay that we use. They really allow us to customize it the way we see fit, to use it however we need to. But they put a lot of work into getting it set up so that it is user friendly enough to where we can edit it and make our own graphics.
Huge shout out to those guys. Without that program, it would be almost impossible for us to do what we do. As the field starts on their pace lap, we are less than a lap away from taking the green flag here. It is 100 laps, so it's a long race tonight. Big track, big speeds, big field. This is going to be probably one of the better races we are going to see. I mean, just the surface area on the track, the talent among all the drivers, the quality of the racecraft between them. It's going to be interesting to see how the long runs go and what the pit strategies are going to be, but all in all, I think we're going to see one of the most exciting races here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I don't expect to see too many cautions. This track's wide enough to really get around, so, I mean, unless somebody really messes up, there shouldn't be too many issues.
And I am definitely not one to go ahead and put the standing poll on how many cautions, but just for the record, it is set very low tonight. I have very high expectations, seeing how this has always been one of our better tracks, especially for all the drivers. We've run this track with this car before, but this is the first time with the new low downforce package, so that might have changed a few things. We'll see what the speeds are as once they get wound up to speed here. As the pace cars get ready to dive off, it's off pit road. They're in the restart box.
Ready, green flag.
Green flag is out, and we are live racing here at Michigan International Speedway. As they thunder into turn one. Everybody gets through the first two turns nice and orderly. It's fairly jumbled, but that'll sort itself out by the time they get into turns 3 and 4. Right now, the 77, your pole sitter, he looks like he's going to lead the first lap here, but we all know the most important lap to lead is the last one. As he dives the apron, like I called in practice, we're going to see a lot of that happening. Score your first lap for the number 77 of Seth Schultz, rocking the old school Ryan Newman throwback Cheerios Betty Crocker paint scheme.
A lot of moving and shaking going on here. Everybody trying to figure out where they want to run. As the 97 drops low on the 6 and the 12 drops low on the 19, they're both going to run in for position here.
Absolutely see the complete cluster of cars as they get out on the straightaways. They fan out quite a bit, kind of like what we see at a super speedway. As I said once again, these cars do carry some pretty good speed. As we're seeing right now, 191, 192 miles an hour, which for a K&N car at Michigan, that's very, very fast. Coming to the line, we'll see at this particular group a 39,470 or 39,790, which is still a very, very good speed for this car at this track. We see the 12 making the move on the outside of the 24.
Yeah, it almost seems like the inside line's getting a little bit bogged down when they try to hold it down in there and get up off the corner. The outside seems to end up getting the final run off the corner.
Well, the one car that, oh, it's funny that you had mentioned that because I was watching the 23 of Corey Brown coming into turn 3. He had the run big time on the number 6 Rodney Kramer, but coming out of the corner, they were dead even. And now, as you can see, going into the corner, Rodney actually had the advantage as he still is able to hold Corey off.
As the 97 sneaks up along outside of the Corey Brown as well.
Well, we all know Corey. Corey is a long run driver. He likes a loose car, so if the car is tight, it's not going to be to his liking. So I'd expect to see probably some 3-tire pit stops and maybe just the little things that we always see Corey do to try and loosen the car up as much as he can, because he likes riding that thing right on the razor's edge. Meanwhile, out front, Dalton Baldwin has managed to take the lead away from Seth Schultz. He's got a almost 0.2 of a second lead. I think right now Seth he got out there, led some laps. Now he's going to get into his rhythm as we see the 97 looking low on the 6 here as we go into 3 and 4. He's going to complete the pass. See the 24 staying way up high against that wall. I think one of the big things that we need to talk about is the 17 of Cody Franklin. We just recently discovered that for the longest time, he had been racing on a 200-degree rotation on a steering wheel, which for those of you who don't sim race, that's literally about 90 degrees to the left and 90 degrees to the right for a full turn, which everybody else runs a 900-degree. It takes a full 1.5 turns of the steering wheel to go from center to lock. And we finally figured out that was Cody's problem, got them all fixed, so hopefully we see the 17 move up through the field and start finishing a little bit better now that he actually has the correct steering wheel map range, everything set the way it's supposed to be, the way everybody else is driving. I know I've watched him in some of his other races that he's done official-wise, and it's already made a huge improvement. So the 17 might be a factor. We might see him in a position where we normally wouldn't see him, or where we see him normally, but then he fades to the back. That might not be a problem anymore now that he does have his wheel settings worked out.
Yeah, and of course, with your wheel settings that far off, you know, running 200 degrees in a 900-degree set, you literally move the wheel, you know, 1/4 of an inch, and the car's already so far out of control that you're sliding the tires, which in turn, I mean, you just tear up your equipment way faster than everybody else. It causes you to slow it way down. It's just really hard.
I think what really got me is when he said when we raced at plate tracks, he was using his pinkies to steer. And that's kind of what got me thinking. I was like, wait a minute. How are you using your pinkies to steer? I'm death gripping the wheel with an 8-to-1 ratio. And then he told us what degree his wheel was set at, and then we all kind of collectively smacked our heads because we didn't realize that was the problem. But now that problem's worked out, hopefully, like I said, we'll see better finishes out of the 17, and he might be able to make a run and get out of Division 2 and get up with the big boys in Division 1 here. Right now, Dalton Baldwin with almost a full second lead over second place of Seth Schultz. Todd Cray is still sitting in third spot right now. I think he's just riding along. Robert Barris has moved his way up to fourth spot, and as we see the 97 there of Cameron Hearn, he's going to start to work over the 75 of Robert Barris. He's looking on the inside. He's going to try and take the spot as they go into 3 here. And he will complete the pass. I think Robert just let him out of the way because we are only 11 laps into the race, so there's a long way to go still. As we see once again, the 24 stays very high on the track versus going down low. I don't know if that's a strategy move or if he's just struggling to find the sweet spot on the track for him, because I did watch him in practice and he was running some consistent times. He was holding a good line. I just think he might be playing it safe, or he just cannot find the butter zone. As we see the 12 right now looking on the inside of the 19, as well as the 20 is going to try and take a peek on the inside of the 28 of Adam Nowinski, but he's going to think twice of that because the 8 of Randy Arms is right behind him, and now he's going to come up on the outside and challenge him for position. Behind him we have the 68 of James Brown. As the 8 is able to make the pass coming out of 2. Now we'll see the 8 try and get up and make some moves on the 28. See the 68 coming under fire by the 20 there, and coming into turn 1.
So speaking of Cody, I'm riding back here in 21st with him. He did start 24th, so he's only run 3 more positions forward, but he's taking his time. He's probably feeling that wheel out a little bit here, and I expect to see him start moving forward here as he's trying to catch the 31.
Well, especially since he has a lot more wheel to feel now that he actually has the full rotation of it. It's a big learning curve after running it and getting used to racing it with only 200 degrees of rotation. I think he's going to find that the steering ratio that we talk about, like usually at this track I'd run a 10-to-1, where a lot of drivers would run a 10-to-8 like Cody would with the 200 degree steering. He's going to find now that with an 8-degree ratio and 900 degrees of steering input, that's going to put a lot of stress on the car, and it's going to wear the right front out really quick, as we see possible 3 wide going on here, but the 19 is going to tuck in and draft with the 12.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Cody a little bit earlier about that, and he was saying the force feedback feels completely different than what he's used to, but the wheel has 900 degrees of force feedback to play with now instead of 200. So the force feedback's not going to feel as sharp and stabby.
No, now one of the biggest things that he had talked about is he's like, oh my God, I can actually feel when the front tires lose grip now, the wheel just gets slack. I'm like, well, that's what we all feel because we're running the same degrees of rotation and we have force feedback through that range. So yes, if you rocket your car into the corner way too fast, you're going to lose all that front grip and you're going to feel it in the wheel. So there's a lot of variables that he's got to overcome now. But as you said, he's been running with such a limited feedback for so long. As we see the 22 get the wall there, he's able to bounce off of it and hold it. Everybody goes around him, and he's just going to shoot to the inside. Smart move there by the 22. That could have been a disastrous result there, but managed to keep a hold of that car. He's going to bring it down pit road, I'm going to guarantee, for some repairs, but amazing job saving that and not bringing out the yellow flag here.
Yeah, the whole right front of that car is pancaked in past the wheel well, so he definitely needs to get it in and get some repairs on it.
Well, he did do the right thing by, after making contact with the wall, instead of jerking the wheel to the left and causing the car to lose control, he kept the car buried in the wall, which is what any race car driver would do. I mean, I know I do it. 99% of the people who get in the wall at tracks like this or Texas or any of the tracks where the cars are prone to sliding up, if you get in the wall, you stay in the wall so you don't involve other cars in it unless the track is clogged on the inside and it's just a racing deal where you run out of space. It's close quarters racing. Sometimes you don't have time to react and you still see a caution come out of it. It was great to see nothing happen there as we stay green flag working, coming up to lap 20 here. So we're already going to be a fifth of the way in the books as the number 8 is making a move on the inside of the 28 here as we go into 3. Give that position to Randy Arms as he's going to try and work over the 6 of Rodney Kramer as well. Meanwhile, out front, it is still the 41 of Dalton Baldwin leading the show. He has a 6/10 second lead over second place of Seth Schultz and a 1.1 second lead over third place of Todd Cray. We've got a good battle going on here. We have the 68 and the 28, the 8 and the 6, all for position here. As they're 2x2 coming out of turn 4. We see Randy put the slide job on the 6. He's going to take that spot. We see the 68 dive to the apron down there. We see the 68. He's going to try and take a spot away from the 6 of Rodney Kramer. He's going to do so. He's going to follow the 8 of Randy Arms. Once again, we see Randy marching through the field again.
Yeah, you know, Randy's pretty quick here at most of the tracks. That old Prime Star paint scheme, what a car.
I love it. Ted Musgrave.
Anyway, yeah, you know, he's normally pretty quick. He's managed to find himself in a few different situations this season so far. Hopefully he can get all that behind him and get up front there and get some wins out of him.
And right now the car that is battling for position right now is the car that we see the 68 is going to make it around him, but we're going to see the crossover coming up here. Randy's going to try and challenge back for it, but right now he's just going to stay on the tail, but look for him to dive going into 3. Looking back at the Texas race, there was an incident between the 68 and the 8. The 68 was coming off of pit road. He hit the seam and lost control of the car, and by the time he was able to lock it down, unfortunately there was nowhere for the 8 car to go, and both nights were ended for those drivers there. So it's good to see them racing side by side, and one of the best things about this league is we don't ever see retaliations take place like I've seen in a lot of league racing. We've got a lot of people that get wrecked. They'll come back out on the track just to take out the person that took them out. We've got a stand-up group of guys here, so it was great to see Randy and James actually racing it out and keeping it clean.
Well, I mean, we do have a few rules in effect to help curb some of that nonsense, but for the most part, we don't have to enforce them because the drivers enforce themselves, you know. If they get in a confrontation, you know, they're not allowed to call it out on track. They need to take it into a private chat somewhere and talk it out.
Which I've only seen a handful of those instances happen, and they were far and few between, but sometimes when you're still in the heat of the moment, your mouth kind of overrides your brain before you can stop what you don't want to come out of your mouth to happen, and it usually does. And that's just the inner race car driver in everybody. As we see the 68 of James Brown, he is marching on forward. He's made it past the 19 there, Justin Page. He is on the move. I think this is the first time that I actually can talk about James Brown and being fast. Normally he's just riding, as he'd always put it, or he's waiting for everybody to wear their junk out. He's up there. He is running it. As we see the 6 of Rodney Kramer's under fire right now by the 24 of Josue Tellez. That's another spot that Rodney Kramer is going to lose now.
Yeah, you know, James is pretty fast here at Michigan. I've given him a couple of sets over the last couple of years, and he can run a set pretty good, but he can't build one.
James is definitely what we call the definition of a sandbagger. He likes to talk the talk that he can't race worth of crap, but we've seen what he can do in the official series. He's just scared to do it here in the league because he respects everybody here and he doesn't want to wreck them. Whereas in the official series, he doesn't ever race against people really that he knows, so it's not that big of a deal if there's an altercation on the track. But that's why we have different divisions here. We have obviously the slower guys, which it's not that is no way to be an offensive term, but the guys who are not showing the speed, the consistency, the quickness, they are in Division 2. James wants to go back to Division 2, but we have a 100% lifetime ban on him ever going to Division 2 because we know he's a fast driver, and if he needs any more proof to show that, he just needs to watch the broadcast of this race because he is showing right now exactly what he can do and what I've seen him do many times as his crew chief. So it looks like out front, Todd Cray has managed to get around the 77 of Seth Schultz, but Dalton Baldwin is still holding a 1.9 second lead over the number 10 of Todd Cray and just over a 2-second lead on Seth. So I think right now Seth is kind of just got the car leveled out and pretty much getting it where he wants it. And he's going to let these other guys run their pace. Each driver has their own comfort zone. And I think that's what we're seeing also with the 6 car here too of Rodney. Like, I know Rodney's driving style. He's not one that's going to be super aggressive and get up there and be in your face to challenge for position. If he knows that the car is not right, he's not going to push the limits on it. He's going to sit back and wait till the car comes to him, as we see the 73 of Chris Ostrander right behind him. '73 is going to look low. We see the 25 of Rusty Farrell has gotten around Rodney as well. As right now on the backstretch going into 3, Ostrander is going to make the move on the inside. You see Rodney step on the brakes a little bit there to let him clear, so the 73 is going to advance another spot. Meanwhile, Corey Brown's in 4th, Cameron Hearn 5th, Robert Barris 6th. We've got a few movers from the back that are starting to make their way up. Right now, looking at the 6 car, he is being scored in the 15th position. So 30 laps in out of 100 laps, we should be looking at pit stops coming up in about, I'd say, probably 10 to 15 laps.
I've just been told that if drivers are going to try to make it a 2-stop race, we should start seeing pit stops somewhere between lap 30 and 35. And then if they're going to try to make it a 1-stop race, probably somewhere around lap 50.
And this is exactly what, during the pre-race show, I talked about, is we're going to see a different mixture of strategies. With this only being a 100-lap race, you can make it easily on a 2-stop race. A 1-stop race, that's stretching it a little bit. You have to go ultra-conservative towards the end in order to keep the tires underneath the car. As the fuel burns out of these cars, they get lighter and therefore they get tighter. So a 1-stop strategy would not be my preferred method for this track. I would do a 2-stop race, but if it stays green flag, It's all about
And
track
the
position.
97 is coming down pit road now. Ooh, he slides a little bit coming onto the entry.
So we'll see the first of green flag pit stops starting now. We will go to the 97 car. We'll see what he does. I imagine it'll be 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. As we see, the 22 is on pit road right now, still getting repairs done to that machine. You see the right sides are up. Left side's going up. He's going to take a full service. Jack is down and he is away. 4 tires and fuel for the 97 of Cameron Hearn.
6 cars coming down, 75 cars on his way down pit road here.
As well as the 8.
Looks like Cody Franklin's in.
That'll be the 17 as well, so multiple drivers here. The 75, oh, the 8 slides into his box sideways. That's going to be a bad angle there, but hopefully they can get the tires changed on it. As we see the 14 as well. 17, the 14, the 8, the 6, and the 75 all on pit road right now. As we see another one coming down pit road right now. Green flag stops are in full effect right now. As you see, the 75 is down and away, the 8 is down and away, 14, 17, the 6, they are all down, all 4 tires and fuel. You see the 12, the 88, the 41, the 28, they are now coming down to take their pit stops. We're going to see a lot of action here on pit road as the 41 is down and away. 12 is down and away. '28, 4 tires and fuel as well. He's down and away, as well as the 88, 4 tires and fuel. And it looks like right now everybody is opting for 4 tires and fuel. As we see the last car now making his way off of pit road. We'll undoubtedly be seeing more cars coming down here shortly. Meanwhile, back out on the track.
And Todd Cray comes back. He's down pit road now.
So that will cyclically lead back over to the 77 of Seth Schultz. Corey Brown will take over the 2nd spot. And it looks like it's going to be son and father right here for 2nd and 3rd, as James Brown is in P3 right now. Josue Tells is up to 4th, Justin Page 5th, Chris Ostrander 6th, Brad Spiles 7th, Douglas Hess 8th, Carlos Plaza 9th, Dan Lepore 10th, Todd Cray 11th, Rusty Farrell 12th, Dalton Baldwin 13th, Cameron Hearn 14th, Robert Barris 15th, 16th, Cody Thompson, 17th, Randy Arms, 18th, Roddy Kramer, 19th, Adam Nowinski, Zach Michaels, 20th, Cody Franklin, 21st, Brandon Hartwell, 22nd, and basically all the ones that we had just seen taking the first sets of green flags, we're going to see them at the tail end of the field right now. But as of right now, I don't see anybody being scored a lap down, as right now your lead has changed to the 23 of Corey Brown. So right now it's father and son, 1 and 2.
The 10 and the 25 have been on pit road and off, 4 tires and fuel. We have Seth Schultz sitting on pit road right now. Looks like he's going to take 4 tires and fuel as well.
So you see the 68, looks like he's slowing up, like he was wanting to get down pit road there, but he just couldn't do it that time around. So look for the 68 possibly to come down next time by. So you see Corey has a 2.3 second, 2.4 second lead on his father right now.
Yeah, James is way off pace here. I think he's going to be coming down pit road.
So 38 laps in the book so far. All of them have been green flag. It's great to see that. But then again, we knew coming in as we see the 23 is slowing apart. He will be coming down pit road. I can guarantee it. He's letting those cars clear. And we should see the 23 come down, but no, he's just going to let him go past. And the 68 is going to stay out as well.
those two may try to run a one-stop race, but geez, I'm not sure I'd want to try that game.
Well, Corey, I know, if anybody, is one of probably about 5 or 6 drivers that I know could do this in a one-stop race. James, I don't know. We've seen James win races that we didn't think was possible. Like when we ran the Flatfoots, he won one of the Daytona races by not taking fuel, period, which is why we had to extend the races just so he couldn't keep doing that. So we could be seeing a one-stopper for both Corey and James here.
So the 19 is down and away. He took 4 tires. Looks like he hung around to get a little bit of damage fixed. So he had a long pit stop.
As we see the high Billy Mays here, car of Cody Franklin going by your leader. Cody is on fresher tires, so he's naturally, Corey's just going to give up the spots. There's no point in holding other cars up. As we see, it looks like they're going to stay out at least another lap, as we see James is going to take it down pit road. So the 68 is going to be the first out of the 2 Browns to bring it to pit road. Let's see what James does here.
Down by another car, but I can't see what the number is on it from this angle. That's a 24. Who said?
That'd be Josue, who said telephone. Another driver we give a lot of crap to in the league, but we respect him. He's shown a lot of proof and a lot of promise, and he's one of our amazing drivers, just like the rest of the field. So you see the 68 is down and away. Left sides are up on the 24. 22 is still on pit road, so I don't know if the 22 is done for the night or if he's just got that much damage, but I'm going to guess that they decided to take that one behind the wall, and he's just going to, doesn't appear that there is a driver in the car, so I think that's going to do it for the 22 tonight here at Michigan, unfortunately.
Yeah, the 22, he hit the wall pretty hard.
Meanwhile, out front, it is still Corey Brown. He's got a 4.2 second lead over your new second place, number 5 of Brad Speidel. The 73 of Chris Ostrander right there we see is our P3, as Josue tells. Looks low on him. He has just completed his pit stop, so he is on fresh tires. So we see the 12 of Caleb Thompson, the 77 of Seth Schultz, and couldn't really see the number on the car, the number 8 of Randy Arms, and the 67 of Dan Lepore. Most of these cars I know by the paint schemes.
Well, that's all fine and good until they start shuffling them around and changing them up on us.
Yeah. I got so used to so many cars being the same paint scheme, I didn't need to see a number to see who it was, but there is a few different paint schemes, but give it a race or two and I won't need numbers at all.
All right, we're going to get a little bit of in-race going on here. Give me a second. Hey, Cody, how you doing tonight? This is Alan up in the booth, buddy.
What's going on, buddy?
So how are those new wheel settings treating you?
I'm a lot more consistent. I'm still learning how to drive it now that I can turn more than 200 degrees.
Is it weird not having to use your pinkies anymore?
Yes, it is a little bit, but I got Billy Mays on board helping me out.
Oh, you've got the awesome auger on the back too, though, so you got plenty of bite there on the rear end.
10-4, maybe a little bit too much.
Well, we talked very big of you in the pre-race show. We expect a lot out of you now that you have the proper wheel mapping now, and we've noticed you've been able to hold a lot better of a line. So hopefully this will be the turnaround for your season here. Now you'll be able to get a lot more consistent finishes now that you actually have to turn the wheel all the way instead of just 90 degrees.
Yeah, I hope so. Just saving tires right now. Looks like we're going to be a good long green flag. Hopefully green all the way. So I'm saving as much as I can right now.
All right, well, we'll get you back up in your race room there, and we hope to see you down towards Winner's Circle here later this evening.
I hope to see you there. Good top 10 I'd be happy with, and I'm just happy I didn't wreck with you bringing me down here and jinxing me.
It seems to be a common occurrence, as also winner's circle is also better known as victory lane, but needless to say,
10-4, but Alan is not broken at least.
no, he's not broken
He fixed himself.
for now.
10-4.
And that was the number 17 of Cody Franklin. I'm going to bring Corey down here as well because I want to know what he's thinking.
Oh, me too.
Hey, Corey Brown, how you doing this evening? It's Alan up in the booth, bud.
Yeah, man, what's up?
So, rocking a little pit strategy going there. You think you're going to make it on one stop?
Negative. I couldn't save enough. I mean, I'll be 1 lap short here. If I can save 2 laps on the next run, I'll be alright, but I think I'm gonna give up so much speed, it ain't gonna be worth it.
Well, that's too bad. I've been watching there. It's like, geez, he's going to try to make it on a one-stop run.
Yeah, it's just so hard to pass with the car being so tight. And this was my only shot. And I just didn't save enough earlier.
Yeah, as you get the 41 there, Dalton Baldwin, he's barreling down on your back door there pretty quick. So, geez, hopefully, you know, you got 2 more laps to go, and you said you're going to be 1 short, so you're going to be coming down pit road here right off.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully it turns around for you. Maybe you can save a couple and get it back into it.
Yeah, I'm pitting now.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
good luck to you.
I apologize for not being part of that interview. I was looking through a bunch of details, trying to look at positions on track and everything and focus the camera towards the action and all that. Kind of good thing you covered that one for me.
It's all good. I can fill in when I can.
So with Corey pitting, that will put the number 5 of Brad Speidel up to 2nd, and the 97 of Cameron Hearn back up to 3rd place. Todd Cray will be 4th, and rounding out your top 5 will be the 73 there of Chris Ostrander. So we see a big check up there with the 31. Looks like the 73 and 31 are coming down pit road.
Yeah, he just hollered out he was pitting, and so he had to check up.
Good job by both of those drivers, not making contact, slowing the cars down and get to pit road safely. So right now, Dalton Baldwin has a commanding 4.5-second lead over new 2nd place, 97 of Cameron Hearn. Todd Cray is 7.2 roughly back. As we see, the focus has gone to the 68 of James Brown again. He's going to possibly make the move on the outside of the 20 of Carlos Plaza, as he does right there. So that was definitely interesting to hear that he was going to be short a lap. So a 1 stop is not going to make it for Corey. So he's going to have to be ultra conservative and hope that the 2-stop strategies, he saves enough on his tires and he's got enough fuel to make it to the end and stay there without running out. Meanwhile, we see the 31 of Douglas Hess going around the 75 of Robert Barris.
Douglas Hess just come off pit road there. He's got a little fresher gear.
This is what I love seeing about green flag runs as we are under 50 to go now. 49 to go. We have stayed green the entire time. You can see that the rubber has built up in the corners quite considerably since the beginning of practice. So right now, the battle of old tires versus new tires, you're going to see a lot of drivers just easily forfeiting positions because they know there's no point in holding up a driver who's on fresh tires when you're on tires that say 20, 30 more laps, as we see more cars making their way down pit road for green flag stops. So this should be possibly the final pit stops for some of them. But with 48 to go, it's still kind of almost stretching it for me. There might possibly be some 3 stops.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd have pit quite this early. I think I would want to be closer in towards the 30 to go mark.
I know track position is key here, especially being that the race has been green flag so far the entire time, but it all comes down to what you feel more comfortable, whether you feel more comfortable giving up spots on the track, or do you want to take the risk of burying the car on the wall because you don't want to give up those spots?
As that was the 97 down on pit road, he did take 4 tires and fuel there as well, so...
That is 2 stops in the books there for Cameron Hearn. You see some right front damage there on the 66 car. Doesn't look like it's too severe damage, but it's enough that it might affect the car a little bit in the corner, because I know anytime you hit the wall, it doesn't matter how lightly you tap it, it's going to do some form of suspension and steering damage to these cars. They're tanks as far as damage-wise go, but just like any car, it doesn't matter if it's a Formula One car, anything open wheel, or all the way up to a Nextel Cup, Monster Energy Cup, whatever the heck you want to call it. All these cars have just a simple sheet metal body on them. So anytime that sheet metal makes contact with the wall, there's nothing that separates that tire, which is directly connected to all your suspension parts, that it's going to transmit any damage from the outside of the car. Most likely it's going to carry through into your suspension, and it's going to slow you down, number one, in the aero, but it's also going to hurt you more adversely in the corners, especially if it knocks the toe in out or if it knocks the wheel off camber. You'll have to put a lot more wheel into it to turn. As we see the 66, he is way off pace as far as the 10 and the 77 and the 19 here. It could be he's just on older tires as well too, but that right side damage does look like it is affecting the car as well.
As again, we see the 97 just rocketing past these cars with new tires. He's just got the commanding line because he can drive the car wherever he chooses to with fresh rubber under it.
Out front, it is still Dalton Baldwin leading with a 7.1 second lead over second place of Seth Schultz, a 7.2 second lead over third place of Todd Cray. So we saw the 77 and the 10 exchanging positions a couple laps ago. So it should be an interesting battle between those two. But right now, Dalton Baldwin is got this one in a runaway right now.
As I'm watching on board here with the 23 of Corey Brown, you know, he's got a little bit fresher rubber than the 41. They may have started to equalize out by now, but he's making up ground here. He's going to take his lap back the old-fashioned way if I know Corey.
And he definitely does have help. He's got the number 5 of Brad Spottle right behind him. So they're just going to stay nose to tail right now, but I would expect pretty soon to see the 23. Well, actually, with the 23, we don't know because we did hear that he was going to be 1 lap short, so maybe he might just ride behind the 41. Right now, what he's doing is he's just utilizing the draft to save on fuel right now and possibly make up that lap or 2 laps or whatever that he was going to be short on his fuel run to make it the rest of the race.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the smart move, is just to kind of lay back and ride and bide your time, because the rest of these guys are still going to have to make one more pit stop. And if he doesn't have to stop, then he'll come out leading. It's just depending on how bad the tires are when the rest of the field gets new rubber. if he can hold them off long enough to take them.
I think he's definitely conserving because we see the number 5. He has made it around the 23, and now he has made it around your leader, the 41. So Brad's going to take that lap back the old-fashioned way. We get a good shot there of them coming out of 2.
As we're looking at 40 laps to go here, I would suspect we're going to start seeing the rest of this field starting to pit here in the next 5 to 10 laps.
Right now we see the second and third place car, the 77 and the 10, they are nose to tail right now as they come out of 4. Dalton still has a 7.2 second lead over second place, so right now it's pretty much going to be a battle between the 77 and the 10 as for track position right now. Dalton's just absolutely running away with it right now, but we do see they're starting to reel him in a little bit, so it might be a case of what always happens being the leader and having such a large lead over him. You kind of get that you get that mindset going that, yep, I've got a 7-second lead. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and before you know it, you could be overdriving the car. But we have seen some impressive things come from Dalton Baldwin, so this could be just him in his natural form right now. You see the 31's going to look low and try and take his lap back the hard way as Corey Brown is still just staying right behind the 41, so I'm almost willing to bet everything that Corey is in 120% fuel conservation mode right now.
Oh, that's a big definite. I mean, he has no other option but to bide his time here and save as much fuel as he possibly can. He made his bed. He's got to lie in it here, and hopefully turns up roses for him.
Right now, he is being scored in 18th, the first car a lap down. So if the caution did come out, he would be the lucky dog.
The lucky dog is sitting pretty.
Yes, very. So we see the 31 and the 73 have managed to take their laps back the old-fashioned way. Always a good thing. And nothing has changed. It's still nose to tail right now between the 77 and the 10 and the 19. They pretty much are just running together as a 3-car pack. Field is definitely very spread out, as to be expected with a green flag run from the beginning till now so far. Hopefully it does stay that way the entire race, because there's nothing I love more than seeing green flag racing from start to finish here.
Yeah, that's one thing that kind of confused me a little bit with the 68 and the 24. You know, they may have been a lap or two short of halfway, but why they would have gone and pitted on lap 40 just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Unless they're banking on a late race caution.
So we see the 8 of Randy Arms. He's down on pit road. So I think we're going to start seeing our final stops for a lot of drivers coming in the next few laps here. Is right now the 68 of James Brown is challenging for position on the inside of the 28 of Adam Nowinski. He almost got it off a 2, but right now they're going to drag race down the backstretch as they come up on the 66. We're going to see as James is going to take the position going into 3. 66 is going to stay high, let the lead lap cars go by.
And the 8 of Randy Arms is down and away with 4 tires and fuel. The 41 is on pit road, as well as the 75 and the 28.
So that will hand your lead over to the 10 car of Todd Cray, who managed to make his way around the 77 of Seth Schultz. So new leader, Todd Cray.
Looks like they're also joined with the 6 and the 24. as the 41's down and away with 4 tires and fuel.
Oh, Caleb Thompson has made his way up to 3rd spot, and James Brown is up to 4th. So a lot of moving and shaking going on right now as we are in, hopefully, our final cycle of green flag stops as we see, do believe there will be 18 cars on the lead lap.
So it looks like Robert, Rodney, and the 24 of Hused, they're all down and away with 4 tires and fuel.
Right now, the 41 of Dalton Baldwin is being shown at 11, so there's actually 12 cars on the lead lap. Corey Brown is the last car on the lead lap right now.
And the 12 is off pit road with 4 tires and fuel as well. I think that was the 12.
Yes, because that will score James Brown now in the 3rd spot. Rusty Farrell has made his way up to 4th. This is where it's going to get interesting because we still have a lot of drivers out on old tires. This is where we're going to see the track position coming into play as we see the 77 on the inside of the 19. That is not for position. Neither will be the 8 car of Randy Arms as he has just come off pit road a couple laps ago and he's getting back up to speed. He will be blasting by these guys here. So we see the 19 kind of comes down to make the move on the 77 and blocks the way for Randy Arms. So Randy's all over the back bumper of the 77 as he's able to duck low, and he'll easily take that spot, seeing how he is on 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods. And now he's going to chase down the leader, obviously, and blow right past him as he's going to do it the hard way on the outside. So big power move right there. Just goes to show what old tires versus new tires do here at such a fast track.
That's a 25 down and away with 4 tires of fuel. James Brown is coming in this time here as he makes his way down pit road. Seth Schultz will be pitting here right off. The 88's coming down pit road as well.
So that will put Cameron Hearn, unless he pits as well, which he's already done so, that will put Cameron Hearn back up to 2nd spot. We see the 77's down, and he's got the 19 coming with him. So once the timing loop cycles around, Cameron Hearn will be your new 2nd place car again, and look for him to try and march back and take that lead away from the number 10 of Todd Gray, as we have 29 laps to go here at Michigan.
And James Brown is down and away. Seth Schultz hits his box, slides it a little bit sideways there. The 88's down and away with 4 in fuel. We have the 19 on pit road, and he will take 4 in fuel.
The drag race across the line.
Seth in the 19 track side of pit road there.
You see the number 10, he's on, leader is on pit road. So hand the lead over. Cameron Hearn will take over the lead. Dalton Baldwin will be your new P2 car. Brad Speidel will move up to 3rd spot. You see the 10 is in his box. Now, the notable thing about the 10 of Todd Gray, he has actually made starts in the NASCAR Busch Series, as we heard from him last week at Martinsville when we interviewed him. He was our winner there, so he actually had talked about flashbacks when he wrecked one of his Busch cars there. So out front, it is Cameron Hearn with a 6.3 second lead over 2nd place of Dalton Baldwin. 9.4 seconds over 3rd place of Brad Speidel. As we see the 17, the 6, the 25, and the 68 there going down the back stretch. Billy Mays on the hood there of the 17, being powered by the awesome auger. All day long, they were giving me crap. They were talking about this paint scheme, and they would not tell me a single thing about it. And here they thought, well, they lured both of us into thinking that they were making a paint job about us, but it turns out it was Billy Mays.
There is a second paint job in the works.
No, I don't want to hear that. Meanwhile, the number 6 of Rodney Kramer, he's going to look low on the inside of the 17 of Cody Franklin. Rusty Farrell and James Brown are right there too, so look for, oh, there goes James to the apron. Rodney's going to go down the apron as well, so that's 3 spots there. 3 cars are going to advance past Cody Franklin. Not sure if that is exactly for position or not. The 17 stays high through the corner there.
And it appears the 97 is coming back down pit road. This will be his 4th pit stop of the evening.
With 25 laps to go, that's might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, we're pretty much 3/4 away. We're exactly 3/4 away in the books on this race right now. So I don't know if 25, 24, by the time you get up to speed, 23 laps is going to be enough time to make up all that you've lost on pit road, unless you're literally just taking a splash of fuel. But we'll see what happens here. So now we see Corey Brown has made it back up to 10th place. Right now I'm seeing Cameron Hearns scored in the 19th position.
Man, this field got really spread out from the start there. Once they got through that first round of pit stops, it really spread out, so everybody's just kind of being able to drive wherever they need to on the track.
It seems like the longer the run went on and the more pit stops we saw, the more that the field is just completely spread out. So this is actually the best case scenario that you could see, other than door-to-door action on the last lap for the win. But as far as not having any instances, not having to worry about running into another car, this is, you couldn't ask for anything better right now.
Yeah, as downtown James Brown makes a move to the inside, the 6 of Rodney Kramer.
Back out front, Dalton Baldwin reassumes the lead. He's got a 10-second lead over second place of Brad Speidel and a 13-second lead over the third place car of Douglas Hess. "19 cars still remaining on the lead lap. 20th position on back is 2 laps down or more." I think the one thing that we kind of need to address is we have not seen much out of the 75 tonight. Not as much as we would have expected. Normally we see Robert out front, but it seems that this season we've seen pretty much everything but the kitchen sink thrown at Robert. I don't know if this is just something unlucky about the season or if it's just the change in the car or whatnot, but we've seen him run up front, but then like at Martinsville, he was involved in the big pileup coming out of turn 4. He had bad luck at Daytona. He's just got a black cat that keeps running across the front of that car on him, it seems. see the 77 of Seth Schultz taking position away from the 12. So we are under 20 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. So far, it has been a green flag run the entire race. Hopefully the last 19 laps stay that way as we see the 19 and the 12. See the 77 making his way underneath the 75. 19's trying to work over the 12 on the inside. Is there door-to-door coming to the line? Caleb with the slight advantage going into turn 1, but I think we'll see that switch to the 19 as they go through the corners. As he's already done that and he's cleared the 31. He's going to try and make it a triple as he's going to try and go around the 75 of Robert Barris. So your new third place car will be the number 8 of Randy Arms. I think the thing to note right now is Dalton Baldwin is commanding this race right now with a 15.4 second lead over second position. Meanwhile, we see the 8 and the 77 coming up on the 88 here. 77 is going to look low on the 8, and then he's going to tuck behind as the 88 dives to the apron. Up with the 5, the 8, and the 77 on the outside. I don't know why the hell that, of all things, popped up on my screen. Note to self, next race, disconnect iPod. So you see the 77 is still trying to work over the 8. And the 19 is also in the mix with the 5. '77's finally going to clear the 8, so that will move things around a little bit. As the laps are winding down here at Michigan, we have almost a 17-second lead from first to second right now, so unless something drastic happens, I don't know if anything's going to change. Who knows? Dalton's shown consistency the entire race. He might have hit on the race winning strategy. This could be his best track. It could be a various number of different variables that is demonstrating such a lead that he has right now. As we see the 8 is coming under fire by the 10 now. He's going to throw the block on him as he's trying to make it. Oh no, it looked like he was going to try and pass the 19. He just threw the block on the 10 there. He's going to try and dive it down there through turns 3 and 4. Just not going to be able to keep the ground as he's well, actually no, he's going to run it door to door. It's just when you come from that apron, you've got to be able to move far enough up the track to be able to keep your speed up, but it looks like Todd is showing an amazing job being able to keep it down there on that low line and maintain his speed there, as he is still door to door with the 8 of Randy Arms, and possibly coming into turn 3 here, he might be able to clear him, which he will do so momentarily. Now he's completely clear. I think the 8 backed off a little bit, knowing that the 10 had a little bit more race car, so right now your top three is going to be Dalton Baldwin, your leader, with a 15.7 second lead over second place of the 77 of Seth Schultz, and right behind him, 17.1 back, the third place car of Todd Cray. See in the scoring here that Cameron Hearn has been able to make it back a few positions, but as we talked, that late pit stop there being his fourth time down pit road, I don't think he's going to gain too much ground, especially with it green flag and we have 11 laps remaining here. So 18 cars remaining on the lead lap now, as they're just completely driving the wheels off of these things right now. That is your third place car right there, the number 10 of Todd Cray. Oh, and we have the 20 in the wall. He's going to stay up there. Good job by the 20 by not coming back down. Oh, as we see contact between the 19 and the 88. The 88's going to ride the wall. He's got some heavy right front damage there, but once again, amazing job by these drivers not losing control of the car and keeping all four wheels pointed in the right direction. You see heavy damage on the front of that 88 target machine. Meanwhile, we see the 12 of Caleb Thompson. He's working the back bumper of the number 8 of Randy Arms there coming out of turn 2. Two old school paint schemes right there. We have the Ted Musgrave Prime Star, and then we have the 20th anniversary Jeremy Mayfield Alltel paint scheme, which, like, I think there's a handful of us in Diehard that paint our own cars. Caleb painted the number 12 ride. Cody, he painted the 17. Our second place car of Seth Schultz was painted by yours truly. Still waiting to see that car go to victory lane. We've seen it close several times, but it hasn't quite made it there yet. But hopefully, as a painter, we can see one of my schemes make it into victory lane without me driving it. Meanwhile, it's still a heated battle between the 8 and the 12 as we see the 12 looking on the high side now. Looked like a little bit of contact between the 8 and the 12, but no damage. We will be taking 5 laps to go this time around. See the 14 of Zach Michael and the 23 of Corey Brown. So Caleb Thompson, after quite a few laps, has been able to make it around the 8 of Randy Arms. As this time at the stripe, we will be under 5 to go. You see the 19 of Justin Page making a little bit of contact with the 88 there of Brendan Hartwell. '19 keeps looking, but the 88's not letting him by. With 4 laps remaining here, Seth has been able to reel it down to an 11-second lead, but unless something disastrous happens to the 41, this race is pretty much in the bag for Dalton Baldwin. Still raging on between the 88 and the 19, but now we have the 12 in the mix as well. So 2 laps to go here. 41 still commanding lead. Just taking it easy. It's been reeled in from a 15+ second lead down to a 10.2, but next time by will be the white flag, so right now it looks like Dalton Baldwin has this one in the books. As we are on the final lap, we will go on board with your race winner, it's going to look like. He has 2 more corners, and he's got this one nailed down. Here, throttle control going through the corner. As he comes out of turn 4 for the final time, he is going to take the checkered flag here, and he is going to win it at Michigan. There you have it, folks. 100 laps. Green flag the entire way. We are on board with your winner right now, the 41 of Cameron Hearn. I see donuts coming. I'm hungry. There we go. As we see the 41 sitting in victory lane, as he appropriately deserves it after an absolute domination of this race.
All right, I've got first and second in the waiting room here. Give me a minute. Todd disconnected sound for some reason.
As we see more victory celebrations are underway in victory lane, the 41 is burning it down. might I add, those are very concentric circles.
Good win there, Dalton. Burn it down, buddy.
Have you ever seen donuts that damn straight? That's crazy.
I have not, but he's got that right front planted.
I have never seen a set of donuts so perfect, and then to park the car in the center of them. That is just absolutely amazing. All right, it appears Todd is back in TeamSpeak, so we can go ahead and get him down here.
All right, Todd, how you doing tonight?
All right, hanging in there. Glad to make it to the end there.
I would say you brought it home third. You had a little bit of connection issues there at the start, and things seemed to iron out for you. You got it back straightened out and brought it home third.
Yeah, I'll take that. Dalton, he was on a rail. I mean, he was just gone. Seen him the first couple laps of the race, and that was that. So, you know, me and Seth had a good run tonight. Glad to take home the top 3. Missed the pit stop there and had to do a little backup. That hurt a little bit at the end, but again, just thrilled to come out of there with a third.
Well, on top of that, you also did lead 9 laps too, and as I predicted, thankfully we did go green flag from beginning to end, so pit strategy definitely was going to be one of the biggest factors in there. We saw a very big number of cars from the back of the field make their way to the front, and it just kept changing back and forth. So other than Dalton, who I don't think anybody expected or had anything for him, you still rallied back. We saw you lead some laps, and you brought it home consistently again after winning last week at Martinsville. You score another podium finish this week, so that's got to almost feel just as good as winning it.
Yeah, I'll take that race. I mean, like I said, with the way the pit strategies went, it was kind of hard to tell. I mean, lead into 10th, then try to work back up, but great clean race. I mean, that's what Diehard Racing's all about. So just real happy to be a part of it. Thank you guys up in the booth for calling the race and Chevrolet, and congratulations to Dalton, man. He was just a class act tonight.
All right, we do move on. We have an off week coming up, but then we move on to the Monster Mile. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, in the past I've been pretty good there. So I tend to like the shorter tracks. You know, that 1 mile there. I'll try to get a little practice in and see if we could get another win under our belt.
All right, good job, buddy, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Dover.
Thanks, fellas. Have a great night.
All right, Todd, take it easy, buddy. And we will bring down Seth Schultz, our second place finisher here.
Well, you have managed to show consistency, but you've still yet to put my paint scheme in victory lane, Seth. What's up with that?
I pitted too late on that last run, but Dalton, from what I saw in the race, he was definitely the car to beat. He had speed and consistency of saving his front right tire throughout a long run. So, other than that, no, it was a good race from what I saw of it. I mean, what held me up was after I pitted that last time was getting around some lap cars or just some of the slower cars. I was catching them in bunches instead of one at a time, and that slowed me down, but I don't even think I still would have caught him. I may have got within maybe 5 seconds of him, but yeah, I should have pitted within maybe 2 laps after he did, not 5.
I don't think anybody had anything for Dalton tonight. He just absolutely flat out dominated the race. You did lead 5 laps, so you were out front, but it was just, I think, overall a great thing. And I know it's every time we've been to Michigan, especially with this car, we've gone green flag from beginning to end, so you really can't ask for anything better.
No, it was a great race, and you know, that's kind of what I told everybody before we started. You know, we had 28 people here before, and had a good hard and clean racing, and it went green the whole way. So it was nice to repeat that again.
And as we move finally, since you had to correct me on Facebook, we move now into an off week for the Super Bowl. Then we move on to Dover, the Monster Mile. Are you going to have anything for anybody there?
I think so. It's gonna be survival. It's gonna be a lot like Martinsville. You gotta keep your nose clean, and the coming off of turn 4 is gonna be the killer. I mean, if you're pushing it too hard and you hit the outside wall, it's probably a 90% chance you're gonna go down and cream the inside wall, and yeah, it'll destroy you.
Well, as we take our off week, it'll be a good time for everybody to stretch their legs, relax a little bit, and then we will be tackling one of the most toughest tracks on the NASCAR circuit, the Monster Mile at Dover, which is undoubtedly the roughest on tires. So aside from the wall, we'll see tire wear being a major factor, but looking back at this race, it was extremely clean. The field got very spread out, and aside from a few cars getting in the wall, they managed to keep it in the wall, keep it away from other cars. We saw excellent racing. Everybody demonstrated give and not take versus what we saw last week in Martinsville, where there's a lot more taking and not enough giving.
Yeah, I definitely a big switch around from last week. I was glad that nobody overreacted after last week and brought it in here this week. So I thought me and a certain somebody might have had an altercation there for a minute, but it all worked out.
All right, well, congratulations on the second place finish tonight, and we'll see you 2 weeks in Dover.
No problem, man. Thanks for broadcasting and everybody that showed up tonight, week in and week out. Have a good one.
All right, that was our second place of Seth Schultz. Now we are going to bring our winner and dominator, Dalton Baldwin. Alan, I'll give you the first round.
Hey, Dalton, this is Alan up in the booth. You had a hell of a race tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's it going, bud?
Going great. I mean, you brought it home first. You ran good.
No, he didn't run good. He dominated the race. Running good is an understatement.
Yeah, not really sure how I did it. I was just able to figure out a pretty good line there and not burn up my right front. Normally, these are really my worst cars on iRacing, and normally this isn't one of my best tracks, but I don't know, I was able to take the lead there from Seth early on, and like I said, just found a good line, a good rhythm. Saved the tires, but kept good speed, and it was the right pit strategy from the get-go. It was pretty obvious that you could just barely make it to halfway. So some people were going with the one-stop strategy, some people were going with the two-stop, and I felt like with the fall off on the tires, the time you'd gain by pitting twice would be better, and so that turned out to be the right strategy, and it worked out, and we ended up winning.
Well, you definitely must have found the right line, must have found a new favorite track, because you led 72 out of the 100 laps here tonight.
Yeah, it's always nice to lead that many laps. Especially I'm a little bit behind on points because I missed the first race, so I'd like to get as many points as I can, see if I can get into championship contention before the end of it. So we'll see about that, but definitely, Michigan, I don't dislike Michigan. It's just usually I don't run as well as I did tonight here. Normally I'm just like, fifth place, something like that. So kind of caught me by surprise to get out in the lead like that, but definitely was a lot of fun, and I had a blast.
Well, the stars were definitely aligned, and in Victory Lane, you laid down the most perfect circular set of donuts I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they called me to Victory Lane, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go do a burnout in Victory Lane then, and got it spinning there in a perfect circle. It was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. Definitely, just had a lot of fun tonight. I have a lot of fun in these races. It's a really great league. A lot of great drivers.
Well, there's definitely nothing better than dominating a race, but bringing home the checkered flag on top of that. We move into an off week for the Super Bowl, and then we head to the Monster Mile, where we all know that track is extremely brutal on tires. It's very high banked, high speed, and one mistake can cause a big problem. How do you think it's going to play out next week for you?
Hopefully pretty good. I really like Dover. It's a big, fast track, but it runs a lot like a short track, and I'm really good at short tracks. That's my favorite style of racing, and so hopefully, can go there and survive. And like you said, Monster Mile likes to eat up tires. That concrete's really rough on the tires, so hopefully it's not too tight. Keep the tires under it, and have a good finish. Hopefully, bring it home in victory lane again next, in 2 weeks.
Well, once again, congratulations on the victory. Is there anybody in particular that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Children's Dream Racer. Around them, as my primary sponsor. They're an awesome charity. Definitely always a good idea to give them a look and donate if you can. Thank Advanced Auto Parts and BG Products and Snap-on Tools. They help me out a lot outside of iRacing, with other racing endeavors. And thank all the drivers for a great race. It was awesome to go caution free that whole race. So awesome job by the drivers. Give a shout out to them, and thank the league for putting on a great show, and you guys for putting on a good broadcast for us.
All right, buddy. Well, once again, congratulations, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Dover. Hopefully you can string back-to-back wins.
Yeah, all right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, there you have it. That was your winner, Dalton Baldwin, after putting on a absolutely commanding show here, leading 72 out of the 100 laps. We're going to go ahead now and give you the official results here from Michigan. Dalton Baldwin walks away with undoubtedly one of the biggest leads and most impressive shows of driving skill right there. 72 laps out of 100 led. He brings home the checkered flag. Second place, we have the 77 of Seth Schultz. Todd Cray, last week's winner at Martinsville, is going to bring it home for another top 5. He comes home third. Caleb Thompson, a name that we haven't seen in the top 5 in quite some time, he manages to bring it home fourth. Randy Arms is going to bring it home fifth in the number 8. Cameron Hearn in the 97, despite taking 4 pit stops, is going to be your 6th place finisher, which is very impressive, seeing how he did take 4 pit stops. Adam Nowinski in the 28 is going to come home 7th. James Brown, who now with a top 10 in the season, that is going to 100% lock him in Division I for forever, and I will rub it in his face every chance I get now. He's going to come home 8th. Robert Barris in the 75 struggled all night. Looked like the car just was not come to his liking. He manages to bring it home in 9th. And another person who's had bad luck the entire season made a great turnaround tonight. Rusty Farrell is going to round out your top 10. Josue Tellis, he comes in 11th after coming in the top 5 at Texas. I think he finished 4th. In 12th place, we have the 31 of Douglas Hess. Rodney Kramer, he's going to bring home 13th tonight. Chris Ostrander in the 73 is your 14th place car. Brad Speidel, who we saw up in the top 3 several times tonight, is going to finish in 15th spot. Zach Michael in the 14th is going to come home 16th. Corey Brown, who we spoke to in race, tried to make it a one-stop race. He knew he was going to be short on fuel. He had to conserve it. He's going to come home 17th at the end of the day. Cuddy Franklin, who is finally driving on 900 degrees of steering rotation, managed to keep the car off the wall. The car stayed 100% clean, so great job by him bringing it home in 18th. The 88 of Brandon Hartwell will be your 19th place finisher, and rounding out your top 20 will be the 19 of Justin Page. Coming in 21st will be the 20 of Carlos Plaza. The 66 of Steven Spears will be your 22nd place. Dan Lepore in the 67, 23rd. And then the 22 of Kevin Trzynski, who we saw get in the wall very early on in the race. Unfortunately, his night was ended early. So that right there is going to do it for us tonight at Michigan. We had a green flag race from start to finish. Alan, what else could you ask for?
I don't think we could ask for much better out of these drivers. They did a great job tonight on and off pit road. We see a couple of them slide through their pit box. We kept it green all night long. There was some good 2 and 3 wide racing there for a while. It kind of got separated out. Everybody ran their own line, ran their own race. You know, I like to see the green flag runs. Hopefully we'll see some more.
And we've heard from the top three. We asked them their standpoint on Dover. What do you expect to see out of Dover? Because I know we've raced there and we know what ended up when we happened. So what do you think is going to be the prediction for the 200 laps that we are going to deal with here in 2 weeks?
You know, I'm really not sure what to expect there. Dover is they call it the Monster Mile for a reason. And it's brutal on tires. It's hard on the right side of the car.
It's hard on the entire car.
Dover.
It's especially hard on the left side of the car if you hit the right side on the wall first.
Well, yeah. Normally, if you hit the wall up on the right side, you find the inside wall shortly thereafter. So it'll be an interesting race to watch. You know, we do have a lot of good drivers. Hopefully, you know, the guys that aren't so good there, maybe they'll set up some practice rooms and get some runs in and get themselves a little more comfortable with the vehicle.
All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight here. We saw some phenomenal racing tonight. Absolute domination of the field. Dalton Baldwin, I can't speak enough of it, leading 72 of the 100 laps here. All laps were green flag. We had nothing but minor incidences with drivers getting contact in the wall. A little bit of fender rubbing, but that's what you're supposed to expect in racing. All in all, we have seen some of the best racing ever come out of Michigan, and tonight's race was a prime example of exactly just how good our drivers are, how well they practice their racecraft, and how they can run around other people. So for Alan Schoen, I'm Art Peck. Thank you guys for watching Diehard Live TV and the Diehard Racing League. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, and I'm getting it right this time, because we will be off for the Super Bowl, but we will return in 2 weeks at Dover for 200 laps. So thanks to everyone for watching. Good night, and we will see you in 2 weeks.